Sponsored by Squarespace. Thanks to Hollywood movies, we often have an unconscious bias. We can imagine the desert of Nevada, the beaches and woods of Rhode Island, we have seen the snow-covered upper Midwest, and the sunlit skyline of California. We see the US as a nation of variety, but the same luxury is not extended to other countries. Egypt is a desert, Mexico is also a desert, Vietnam is nothing but jungle, and Russia is always in the winter. It's reductive. That is why, in this new video series, I'll be your guide through China. From ancient villages of ethnic minorities to a misty cyberpunk city built on a cliff, let us visit some of the most fascinating places, using movies as our medium. Our journey is about to begin. Buckle up and enjoy. Let's begin at the southern edge of China in the province of Yunnan, literally south of the clouds. It is an appropriate name as it has been China's southwestern frontier ever since the 13th century. The Mongolian conqueror of the Yuan dynasty could not reach past this point. Nature had kicked their asses. For this reason, Yunnan is often depicted as the metaphorical edge of the world. Both Outcast featuring Nick Cage and Little Big Soldier featuring Jackie Chan depict the formidable landscape as the edge of civilization, despite neither story being set in Yunnan. Since Outcast is a piece of trash, let's focus on Little Big Soldier. In this story, Jackie plays an old soldier trying to bring a captured general back home. They journey through the edge of civilization, all while bickering like an okay couple. They trek along winding roads carved through Tulin, which translates to earth trees. They drift through a river by sheer cliffs, as if they have met the wall at the end of the world. Layers upon layers of mountains stretch on forever. Every shot is beautiful, but every bit of it seems unreachable. Of course, Yunnan isn't all wilderness. 2011's Dragon, starring Donnie Yen, was filmed and set in a Yunnan village. Here, the terrain shapes the village. The roads wind the ways along, as houses stack on other houses and homes connect to other homes. The houses are made of wood built on stone foundations. Despite their small sizes, they often have 2 or even 3 stories. The elevated surface was made to combat the abundance of rainfall and, well, snakes. This raw, unrefined beauty once again invokes the remoteness of Yunnan, a place far away from worldly conflict, perfect for a wuxia hero to retire. And indeed, that is the central setup of Dragon. But I'm about to spoil the film's mystery, so I'll leave you to enjoy the film on your own. Finally, Zhang Yimou's riding alone for thousands of miles brings us to the old town of Lijiang and its outlying villages, showing us similar village houses as well as the earth trees. In this film, a Japanese father travels to China to finish a project started by his terminally ill son. Yunnan is, once again, the metaphorical edge of the world, an impasse for this father's emotional journey. It's here we get to, in my opinion, the most important part of geography: the people. 38% of the people in Yunnan are ethnic minorities, including the Yi, the Bai, the Hani, and a lot more. That's why from the drapery in the background to the curios sold in street markets, everything feels a little more exotic than usual. It is an unfamiliar China. The clothes they wear, the songs they sing, even the dialect they speak are different. This makes the father and most Chinese viewers feel like outsiders. But to the father's surprise, when the locals learn about his wish, they rally to honor his son's dream. The solitary pilgrimage turned into an event that brings the worlds together. In the West, we often have this impression that China is repressive and cold, and I always find that dehumanizing. Even at this world beyond worlds, people live colorful lives, as lively as anywhere else. The languages may not cross the barrier, but the helping hands can certainly reach beyond the clouds. And I wish to spend a second to tell China's various tourism boards to update their websites with Squarespace. Chinese official sites all have the same utilitarian design, which is fine for news and announcements but not exactly inviting for travelers. In reality, most tourism promotion comes from social media posts, but those don't show up on search results, practically unreachable for foreign visitors. And that's a solution Squarespace can provide, a website that is attractive and accessible. With numerous pre-made templates as well as tools and tutorials, upgrading your website is just a few clicks away. The editing process is intuitive and the flexibility offers endless possibilities. Anyone can make a great website. In fact, you can pretty much create one for free now. Start a free trial at squarespace.com/accidentalcinema and you can start making websites right away. No credit cards needed. When you are ready, use the code ACCIDENTCINEMA and you can get 10% off your first purchase. Don't settle for a wall of text. Captivate your audience. Let the world know about you and your destinations. Visit squarespace.com/accidentalcinema today. Beijing, the northern capital, is often the first city that comes to mind when people think of China. The Forbidden City, the Temple of Heaven, and that one stretch of the Great Wall are all iconic landmarks. But obviously, people don't live in these places. To see the side of Beijing where the locals are, we have to head into the hutongs. Let's start with the 2016 crime drama, Mr. Six. In this story, an aging gangster must rescue his son from a younger, flashier criminal underworld. Befitting of an old-school kingpin, much of the film was shot in old residential Beijing. In northeastern China, these narrow alleys are called hutong. They date back to the Yuan and Ming dynasties, connecting to centuries-old courtyard homes. Decorated with electricity meters and AC units, these antique alleys may appear to be back streets, but they are, in fact, front yards. People open their homes directly onto hutongs. They hang out, they sit down and drink, they watch kids fight, and they navigate on foot, bikes, or mopeds. In these tight, communal corridors, every corner is a gathering place. Though the city has modernized and most no longer live around hutongs, the hutongs remain Beijing's living historical heart. However, Beijing didn't always look like this. In the Heat of the Sun, released in 1994, shows what the walls were like in the past. Instead of pristine grey bricks, hutongs were much more patchy, often aged and shoddily repaired. They were products of a rapidly industrializing Beijing between the 1950s to the early 2000s. Back in those days, few saw the cultural value in hutongs. Demolition and new construction felt like progress. A documentary was made on the issue. Unfortunately, I couldn't find a film. Luckily, as hutongs began to vanish, public outcry sparked policy changes. Since then, local authorities have taken great lengths to renovate old districts and limit modern constructions in these areas. The preservation effort is what gave us the well-maintained scenery of Mr. Six. Finally, let's take a look at the Hutong Cowboy and see the people living inside the hutongs. In this 2024 comedy, taxi driver Zhang Beijing accidentally becomes a TikTok star. With his newfound fame, the cowboy begins using his influence to help other people. Impulsive and boneheaded, the cowboy has no idea how things work on the internet, but he always has the confidence to leap before he looks. But the reason he jumps is always to help others. He sees a thief and immediately rallies the entire neighborhood to stop the robbery. He meets a single mother and instantly decides to raise money for her. In satirizing online culture, the film crafted a mediocre story but an excellent protagonist. The titular cowboy is, to me, the classic example of a Beijing 大爷, a Chinese uncle. They are behind the times, but are always friendly and reliable. Indeed, Zhang Beijing is named as such for a reason. He is the embodiment of the Beijing spirit. This is why I choose hutongs as the focal point. At their best, hutongs are unglamorous. At the worst, they are severely outdated. But in every depiction, hutongs are always welcoming, just like a Chinese uncle. This quality, I think, not only summarizes Beijing, but also the people of the northern capital. Finally, let's head to Chongqing, literally double celebration. True to its title, Chongqing is an energetic city best represented by its signature dish, the Chongqing hot pot. Characterized by its fiery spiciness, Chongqing hot pot is a social... Holy f***, you guys eat that? Characterized by its fiery spiciness, Chongqing hot pot is a social event dish. A full table of people around a shared hot pot. They talk, they yell, they drink, and they connect. The steam, the heat, and the iconic spiciness bring people together. It is a microcosm of the entire city. Appropriately, our exploration begins with the 2016 heist comedy, Chongqing Hot Pot. In the film, a group of young men tries to expand their bomb shelter turned hot pot restaurant and accidentally tunnel into a bank vault. Temptation sets in. Suddenly, a heist feels within reach. Upon release, the film was praised for the colorful display of local culture, and I'm inclined to agree. In my opinion, the film successfully showcases two key aspects of Chongqing. Firstly, Chongqing is perpetually foggy. Nestled in the Sichuan Basin, where clouds are trapped by surrounding mountains, the Chongqing sky is always overcast. The film uses this to enhance the storytelling. The story begins on a clear day, but gets progressively foggier as it goes. The opaque mist symbolizes the hidden danger ahead, which is fully cleared only by the epilogue. Secondly, Chongqing is a maze. In this city, metro trains drive into the 6th floor of an apartment building, a 22nd floor rooftop plaza connects to the open road, and indeed a ground floor restaurant can connect straight to a bank vault. Built on steep mountains, the topology of Chongqing is like an M.C. Escher painting. Navigating it is like being trapped in a dream, and that makes it the perfect city for crime thrillers. Indeed, Chongqing is the thriller capital. Under the Light, released in 2023, is another example. It tells the story of an ambitious young cop investigating a high-profile corruption case. Technically set in a fictional city, the movie is clearly filmed in Chongqing, borrowing its maze-like quality to enhance the mystery. Here, director Zhang Yimou brought in a more recent addition to the city's identity: the lights. All major Chinese cities have impressive light fixtures, but Chongqing's vertical layout shows the most personality, earning it the nickname Cyberpunk City. Under the Light magnifies it with digital effects. The result looks surreal, but captures what Chongqing feels like. It is the perfect visual to represent a villain who's a corrupt politician. It is imposing, too big to be taken down. Technically, these light fixtures turn off at 10 o'clock, which is kind of funny to think about, but I guess in this fictional city, it never goes dark. Instead of introducing the people of Chongqing, here I want to shift gear a little and introduce one of the best movies set in this city, Better Days. With an 8.2 on Douban, 4.1 stars on Letterboxd, and even an Oscar nomination, if you can only watch one movie from this video, this 2019 drama should be your top pick. The film follows a high school girl who's a victim of bullying. And I'm talking about real, vicious bullying here, not the Hollywood claptrap. When she fights back, the abuse escalates. Her school takes no responsibility, her mother is never home, and the police can't do anything. Her only ally is a young street thug, the only person who's willing to offer help. From the perspective, we see the emergence of a tragic romance and the social condition that creates bullies. Much of the film is told from the ground level. We see the characteristic city stairs, the hot pots and beers, and the neon color lights. It's undeniably Chongqing, but also down-to-earth, relatable. Like its theme, the film's setting and visuals are universal. That's where I'll stop spoiling this film. Although I only show a glimpse of it, I hope it is clear that Chongqing is as unique as it is similar to everywhere else. When the neon light turns off, when life goes on, people here grapple with hopes and fears as real as anywhere in the world. I think that is a lesson worth remembering. I still have many more places to share, but as I prepare for the next part, I have a request for you too. Please introduce your country to me and to everyone else in the comment section. We may not be able to travel to every destination, but at least we can reach out virtually. We don't need to rely on Hollywood movies as our mutual introduction. So leave a comment and invite us to your world. How are each region different from the others? How are the people known within the country? And what movies should we watch? I eagerly await your invitation, and I'll see you in our next journey.